I'm on live right now. It's live right now. I'm trying to get the link so I can put it on our website. But it is recording right now. I know. I just show them how to log in, how to create a user also. You know, like how to go to sign up for it if they don't have an account yet.
Does it just come up?
On the login page, there's a sign up button like that. All right, so here we are live now. Let's go ahead and jump over to Radar. We're going to focus on a couple different things here. So sorry, it took me a minute there to get everything loaded, but so we'll focus on a couple different things here. We're going to take a look at the storm moving in and around the just to the north of the Omaha area. Other storms firing back behind there, trying to go linear, but they're not. They haven't yet, and it looks like they might make it into the Omaha area before they have the ability to. So let's start off with the warning. Let's just base it out here. So this is the warning that was issued from the National Weather Service, as issued about 5 minutes ago. It looks like 5-10 minutes ago. So it's a storm moving to the northeast at about 55 miles per hour. Winds to 60 miles per hour. Half dollar size hail, that's 1.25 inch in diameter, are all possible with this storm. So it is a pretty intense little storm. It's a really high volume storm. Look at all the pinks and purples in here. So that's indicative of a really high volume. So let's look at a couple different volume scans here. So this is actually one of the things that I like to look at. We're really close to the radar here. So I don't know if you can see right here. We've got here's the Omaha radar near Valley and Waterloo, and the storm is I mean, the back edge of the storm, it's raining on the radar. In fact, it's moving away from the radar. You can see it kind of went just to the south and then to the west. And so now we'll begin moving away from the radar. It's going to be able to pick up the returns or at least the size of the hail a little bit better. But when it's close, this is one of the products that I like to look at because it helps me see if the storm is able to sustain or keep the same type of intensity. So you can see here, as the storm kind of moved across, not a big change in intensity. So that tells me that it's not really strengthening and it's not really weakening. And so when it's before it gets to the radar area, I can kind of keep that same mode and know that it's going to be the same size of hail as it moves through the area. One of the things that makes it hard, and let me show you this. This is a 3D rendition of this particular hailstorm here. So the first thing is notice. I mean, there's not a lot of pink up in there. You can see we do have just a little bit in there. So it might even actually have some hail falling out of it here. Let's see if that trend continues here. It looks like we just got a couple of frames on there. So here's a new update. Let's see what our new update looks like here. The other thing that we spend a lot of time looking at, and again, if you've watched us live, these are, whoops, I want to do that. If you've watched us live, these are things that we look at typically when we're actually tracking these hailstorms. So we want to use this little red square right here, and then basically track it over different parts of this storm to see if there are any blues and greens in it. And so what we notice is that in the areas where the hail is, which is right in here, there's not a whole lot of it. And so what that tells me is that we've got either a lot of rain or a lot of small hail that's actually falling in this storm. Not to say that there's not a couple of quarters and half dollars, and heck, there might even be a golf ball or two in this thing if it can get a little bit stronger. But there's a lot of small hail, and the product that we want to look at to show that is this guy right here. And notice the grays right in here. So that's the area right now that has the most hail falling, just to the south of Bennington. Again, you're probably looking at quarter, again, maybe half dollar size hail in this particular storm. So nothing too significant with it, at least size-wise, but there is a lot of hail. That I guess the best example that I can use for what that might look like would be, I guess I would probably focus back on the storm that hit in Omaha last year. I don't know if those of you remember that. Probably have some of you guys can post in the chat on here the date that occurred. But the storm that actually moved through the Omaha area, it produced a really, really high volume of hail. Even though there wasn't a whole lot of really big hail, it produced a high volume of hail. And so something like that, this hail is probably not quite as big. But that's basically what we're looking at. Here's the new frame that just came in. And so we're looking, let's see here, we've got, for those of you familiar with the area, this is, looks like State Highway 133 coming out of Irvington to the north and east. Here's Bennington right here. So the storm just moved through the Bennington area. Looks like the worst of it probably went just to the south of Bennington. And actually, let's rescale the radar here real quick. So we're got a inflow notch kind of right here. So we're gonna track the storm from that location, try to get us an idea of exactly with speed, allow the radar to actually kind of correct itself and create a better algorithm for what it wants to do for size-wise here. So we'll kind of readjust that here. We'll give the radar a minute to update. And then looky here, so while we're watching this storm back here to the south and west, beginning to go up a little bit as well. So look at them, boy, they just kind of explode here. This one's going to go just a little bit further to the east. So this one's going to go through the west side of Omaha now. And it's going to produce, again, a pretty high volume of hail. It's going to be small hail, but it is going to produce a high volume of hail. So as it moves through that area from right around Gretna right now, just moving right over the top of Gretna just now, as it moves across that location here, and conditions are favorable for these to strengthen, okay? So these could definitely produce golf ball size hail if they really decide to get their act together. So storms have fired a little bit earlier than anticipated. They're also more isolated than anticipated. So we weren't forecasting large hail in Omaha today. We had them kind of right on our edge, our 5%, if you will. But hey, Mother Nature has a mind of its own sometimes, and I love it when I'm wrong when it comes to hail, at least in an area that I didn't forecast. So here's a look. Let's look at the radar signature. So 1.19 on the southern storm near Gretna, moving to the north, basically the northeast, northeast. That's going to move towards Boys Town and Irvington. In that general direction, and then the storm up here to the north now pulling away from the radar, so it's picking up the hail size a little bit better. Still not quite for sure. Let's look at a couple different signatures here on this guy here as it moves off to the north towards Fort Calhoun here. So it's moving towards Fort Calhoun and towards Missouri Valley as it crosses over into Iowa. It's going to go south of Blair. Most of you are familiar with Blair from the hailstorm in 2014. All right, so here we go. So this storm stretches from near Irvington all the way up to the north, again, just to the west of Fort Calhoun. Okay, this is State Highway 133 running off to the north. Now here goes the new update. Again, over the Irvington area, still producing hail. Let's look at some of the CC values on this. This is our correlation coefficient. This is going to let us know if there's anything large happening inside of this storm now. So let's go ahead and take a look at it here. Notice we're all still red here. Nothing big showing up. Maybe some quarters right in here. So the algorithm probably overdoing this just a little bit. It's saying it's making a run at golf ball size hail. Again, not any golf ball size hail right now in this storm. And then you can see everything stretches down. So again, high volume, small hail, a lot of P's, a lot of dimes. There's definitely some nickels in this storm. There's probably some quarters in this storm, but most of it is P to dime to marble size hail in this storm right now. And it's producing a lot of it. It's going to look like it snowed as soon as this storm actually comes through the area. Now let's drop back down to the south here, and actually we've got verification now, 0.75, so that's a dime size hail, 1 mile north of Elkhorn. That's from a National Weather Service employee, so that's a pretty good person to get a report from. Watch this. These are going to be some things that we're going to have to watch too. Look at this. These are some storms going up out ahead of the line here. So this is near Atlantic, just to the north and west of Atlantic. Okay, we're going to have to watch this. Anything that goes up out ahead of this line here is going to have a really big potential to produce some really big hail. Everything in this line is going to have a short time period where it can produce hail. So we're going to see that as they move through Omaha. But after they move through Omaha, begin to move into Iowa and northwest parts of Missouri, we're going to see that hail threat really kind of trend off on this area right in here in this line. It's going to trend off, and it should switch to more of a wind threat. We'll have to watch it. Could be wrong. All right, so now we've got 60 mile per hour winds and pea-size hail, just like we've been talking about. Again, maximum hail size on this guy is probably sitting right at quarter-size hail, even though the radar wants to throw us up, making a run at golf ball. Again, maximum size hail is going to be in that range. Quarter size and smaller, most of it being in the pea to nickel size. But we are getting a high volume, and it's definitely worth mapping these storms here. So new warning has now been issued. This one includes Omaha, Papillion. Let's take a look at what we've got with that one. So again, they're downsizing the size of hail. They're kind of coming along now to what we've been talking about here. So again, 60 mile per hour winds, quarter size hail is possible with some of the larger hail. All right, so here we go. So it's now moving over Gretna and to the north of Gretna. So what we want to do is we want to see, do we have any of those low CC values? So this area right in here, you can see my little red icon. I wish they made it like blue or a different color, but they didn't. So we use what we got here. So we've got it right in here. And if we continue to look at this here, again, nothing showing green. Everything's all nice and red in there. So no big hail is occurring with this storm right now. Notice the blue area right out here is out ahead of the storm. And so it's not able. There's our quarter report. Again, nothing. As we've been talking about, this is exactly what we thought would be happening out of this thing. So nothing out of the ordinary here. So the radar having a tough time updating the scans. That's why the hail marker is actually back here. If you're an algorithm guy, you buy maps from an algorithm company, that's going to throw you off a little bit. It's not picking up the scans very well. In fact, this is what you're going to be seeing right now. So it's really going to be throwing things off quite a bit here. It's overdoing the hail size quite a bit as well. But there it goes. It just updated for you. So you got a new update on your algorithm there. Again, the storm down here by Gretna as well. It has not updated yet either. It's going to update somewhere into this area. But you can see here, the storm's moving into a lot of population. There's going to be some quarter size hail. Notice how it's lining out. If we can keep the hail going, which it looks like it's going to try, so we're going to try to at least produce some quarter size hail. This will have a potential to increase the wind speed in this storm. So, with things lining out here, it's going to give us an opportunity to produce some 60, maybe even 65 mile per hour winds with this storm as it tries to bow out and extend out with some higher winds. Let's actually take a look at the wind here. So here's a look at the velocities on radar right now. Again, storms up here to the north in Elkhorn, the first storm that moved through the area, produced some 60 mile per hour winds and quarter size hail. Kind of expecting the same thing here with this second storm as it moves into the Omaha area. Again, radar overdoing the size again, so we're now showing ping pong ball size hail. That's 1.5 inch. That's not what's fallen. We'll double check it here. We'll verify with our CC values here. All right, so You can see, I mean, I think we're definitely probably getting some quarters here. You've got a couple little green specks showing up in here, so those are a few quarters falling out. If we see these greens and blues really start to bottom out, then that'll be something to watch. The one thing that we do want to watch is because if the inflow and the rotation on this storm can increase, that's what's going to increase the size of hail on this. Okay, so notice this little appendage right here. So you can see this is sucking in right here, and so this is our inflow into the storm. So this is going to be the area of the storm that we're going to have to watch, especially probably right here to the south where it's got the hail marker right now. This will be the area to watch for some potentially large hail. If it's going to increase in size, this is the area that it's going to do it. If it's going to try to rotate, do a little spinning, maybe make a tornado, this is where it's going to do it, right here in this appendage. If you were looking at the storm, you might even have a little bit of a lowering here. Nothing worth a tornado warning, nothing like that. But we do have a little bit of rotation right in that area. There it is. You can see it right there. Yeah, so this is a nice little storm. Again, if the rotation can kind of continue, it's going to help to increase the hail size in this storm. Lots of hail falling right now in the center part of this storm. There's our new update now. Let's update that now on our CC values. Let's see if they drop any here. I mean, we've got a blue speck right there. I think that's probably a little bit of feedback. It doesn't really match up with anything that we see. You can see we're basically tracing here this storm with our little red square, and we're trying to track. And so again, a little bit of some smaller CCs, and notice it's right there where that appendage. It's still right there, so everything is sucking into this part of the storm. And then right here, this is where the biggest hail is going to be falling in this particular storm. So again, you've got some isolated quarters throughout the storm, mainly mainly nickel size hail, and then if the higher potential for quarter size hail is going to be right through here. So again, we're not going to go higher than quarter size hail on this thing right now. Let's jump back up here to our northern storm. So it just moved through Fort Calhoun, and it looks like this one. Let's see here. So some of those lower values that we were talking about. So this could be trying to produce a little bit bigger hail. So notice this one has its inflow right down here on the southern part. Let's see here. Let's move it forward now and see what we got. We got a really nice storm. So this one probably producing more quarter size hail than the one to the south. This storm up here by Fort Calhoun is also a lot more mature. So it's had a little bit more time to get its act together. There's a good potential that this one could do it as well as it moves into Omaha. So we're going to have to watch this and see if it doesn't try to intensify. But again, right now we'll go quarter size hail in Omaha with the max hail size. The max hail size being, again, quarter size with smaller stuff. Lots of dimes, pennies, peas, that type of stuff going on right now. Let's see here. What else do we got going on? So again, our little cells going up out here to the front. In front of the line, we're going to have to watch those. They haven't really taken off yet. So they continue to kind of meander and pulse and build out there. So right now we've got three severe storms, a fourth one trying to develop as we speak. So this one's down here to the south. This one will actually go through Papillion and then through the southwest side of Omaha. This one's going to move through the western side and the northern side of Omaha. And then this one went right across the very far northwestern sides of Omaha. All right, so this guy still, again, look at the inflow notch. Boop, sucking right in right there. I bet you, yeah, here we go. So you can see right here, this is where the biggest hail on this storm in Fort Calhoun. So it's crossing the Missouri River as we speak. It's lifting off. They're actually kind of having a tendency to turn just a little bit more to the right. So it's probably going to go to the south of Missouri Valley. Missouri Valley is going to get some hail, but it's going to be a lot of small stuff. With the bigger hail coming down here in the southern end of this storm. Let's go back down here. So now this storm now moving through Boys Town, and it's moving well into the western sides of Omaha. Let's look at the, let's put the hail signature on. This is the best part about putting the hail signature on this is that it actually takes most of the feedback off of the map, and we can see what's actually underneath the radar. Look, we can see all the houses. That's about all the hail signature is good for. So let's switch it back now. We know it's in a populated area, so we're rocking and rolling. We're getting some quarter size hail moving through Omaha right now as we speak. So these are the storms. Again, the hail signature is not updating again, so It's just a flaw with the radar. Not anything we can really do about it. Fortunately for us, we have people analyzing these storms and mapping them live. Let's actually take a look at it. Let's see if we can see. We have lots of questions and stuff going on in here. All right, so let's jump over here. Let's take a look at the map. So this is kind of cool. So I'm going to give you kind of behind the scenes here. This is where my meteorologists actually map storms. They do this live as we do it here. So we're going to zoom in here. You can see they've been mapping these storms here as they move through the Omaha area. So again, we're kind of picking out these little areas on where we think the bigger hail's going on at. And it makes it real easy for us to accurately map it. So here's the second storm that we've been talking about. Again, went severe. Talked about it producing quarter-size hail north of Gretna. Now we're tracking that into Omaha. Here's the first storm. It was actually broken down into two different pieces here. And again, re-intensifying like we just talked about south of Missouri Valley. So if you're a subscriber to us, you can actually see this. And then as it continues to update, you'll be able to see it update. So it's a really, really cool feature for being able to track the storms going on. So I'll zoom in here a little bit more. So you can see these are the areas that we're tracking them right now. And so let's jump back out of here. And let's go back to, I'm going to take a look here. This probably is not going to show me. I don't know if this is going to, if you guys can see this or not, but I just wanted to get an idea of all the different activity going on here. So we do have a dime size report that just went through. Just trying to take a look here. So we're going to try to track this thing all the way through the Omaha area for you guys. I know there's a lot of you on here watching right now in Omaha, so we're going to try to track this thing across through Omaha, and then we'll probably shut the feed down and wait for some more activity pop up. But here it is. Let's see here. So again, we've got this storm here. This is the one just went through Boys Town. Here's your dime size report that just came in. Wouldn't be shocked if we don't have another quarter size report or two that comes in. The quarters are going to be really isolated though, so there's not going to be anything crazy going on with this storm. Okay, it's a severe warning storm. It's producing some high wind, but notice it doesn't really have that separation that I would like to see. Like this storm up here. See how this storm almost has like this nice hook shape to it, really big inflow notch. This one's going to mean some serious business here, and it's actually producing some big hail now. So this one, yeah, this guy's producing some really nice hail now all of a sudden. So yeah, there you go. There's your ping pong ball that we just talked about too. So again, we talked about this one getting the inflow notch, increasing the hail size. And look, right in here, this area right in here, there's golf ball size hail falling, if not bigger, right now in this location. Okay, so this storm, again, not really hitting a whole lot, but just crossed the Missouri River, and it's dropping golf ball size hail on State Highway 183, and then basically from I-680 and to the south. So 680 along 183 to the south. That's where we're getting some big hail. Again, golf ball, maybe 2-inch hail in diameter right now falling in this location. So this is where the big stuff is. Again, this one has to get that inflow notch if it's going to produce big hail. It's really running out of time right now to be able to do that. We're going to have to watch this storm down here to the south as it lifts off to the north and west to see if it can do that. But as of right now, we've got one storm that's been able to do it. And that's where you're getting the large hail reports coming in the Fort Calhoun area, probably just to the south. Let's see if we can figure out exactly where that would have occurred. Okay, so yeah, there it is. So you can see the blues showing up right in there. Radar's picking it up beautifully. It knows exactly what it's looking for here, and you can see they really just kind of develop right before the storm gets to Fort Calhoun. Right there, that's when the blues pop up. So again, the biggest hail probably just to the south of Fort Calhoun. This is Highway 75. So on 75 in the bend right in here, right in between this bend, this is, so from Fort Calhoun to the south to this curve right in here, this is where the biggest hail happened at, ping pong ball size hail. And then it went and increased, and now we're we're making some big hail now. This is some nice hail coming down right in here. Again, golf ball size hail, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe in the 2-inch range coming down. It's a high volume of hail. Let's zoom in here on our storm in Omaha. Let's see if any changes here. And you might have a little pocket of some quarter size hail right in here, but no change in intensity. So for the most part, pea to nickel to dime size hail, a lot of it, and then you've got a few little isolated quarters going on right now. Right in here in the central part, just to the north and west of Omaha, to the south and east of Irvington. That's where we're watching right now, in Omaha proper. Again, this storm up here to the north of Omaha, it's going to town. It's producing golf ball size hail now. Dropped ping pong ball size hail in Fort Calhoun, but it's continued to intensify. Has a classic radar hook on it, and it's a really intense thunderstorm right now. Again, other areas, we've got another pocket of hail that's going to move into the Papillion area. So that's moving from the south to the north. Doesn't look too intense right now. Both of these really don't. There's maybe some wind right up in here. Let's see here. Yeah, so I mean, there's probably some wind up in here. We can actually look at that, see if the radar's picking any of that up. It's showing some gusty stuff up here. So again, so we are getting some wind with this storm. Are we getting a tornado up here maybe? Not yet. But again, the big hail right up in here. It's this little green pocket right here on the inflow notch of this storm, producing some, and it's producing a lot of hail too. Look at that thing, all the way up to 80 decibels now. So we are cranking on that storm right now. Let's actually take a look here at, see how much hail is falling on this storm. Okay, so if we go right up into here, look at that, all hail, lots of hail, lots of golf balls, 2-inch hail, for sure. Nice hook inflow notch. We've got a lot of cold air aloft to help the hail out. Again, this storm down here to the south, that's in the Omaha area, just never really could get that oomph that it needed to actually push it over the top. This storm actually looks, if anything, like it might even be weakening a little bit, so it's definitely not too intense. So again, watching both of these. Again, the majority of this is a lot of heavy rain, small hail down here in Papillion. Little better there, return there on the next loop. And then we've got, okay, so we've got, this storm actually looks a little bit weaker now. So we're going to keep watching these through Omaha. Like I said, we wanted to watch them go through the Omaha area. So again, for those of you just now joining in, we're mapping storms of, again, isolated quarter-size hail in Omaha, and that's about it for right now. So a larger hailstorm moved to the north, really took off around the Fort Calhoun area, but that's the big one right now, and that's really about all that we have to talk about. So again, they now have the report in, so they've got the hail size up to ping pong ball. Again, I think that it's probably producing golf ball size hail right now in this little pocket right here. So moving down 680, if you're driving down 680 from, let's see here, where is something out here? A whole bunch of nothing. But if you're driving down 680, that's where you're going to see it at. Let's see here. All right, so we've got, again, I'm not seeing a lot of big hail on this thing right now, so just a bunch of isolated hail right now at pea to nickel size, in both of these quadrants of the storm. So the Papillion storm and then the storm north of Omaha, really probably showing signs of anything of weakening right now. And so not a lot going on. So we're going to go ahead and shut down the live feed for just a few minutes, and then we're gonna go from there, and just kind of keep an eye on these. If they decide to pulse back up, we'll actually go back live again, But for now, we're going to go ahead and shut the live feed down. We will leave the meteorologist in the chat. So if you're in the chat, feel free to plug in and talk with us. We're here to chat with you as well. And for those of you subscribers, the maps are already online. We're mapping them live as they happen. So we'll continue to update those as they move through. And of course, we'll send you alerts if there's any big hail to talk about. We'll be sending out those exact locations. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. And if there's anything that we can do to help, please be sure to let us know. We'll talk to you guys soon.